This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now. This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with now.
Yo, what is up? 24/7 Buff Pandemonium. It's your boy Swank. It's the K-Gun. It's episode 44. You know what? Tonight's episode is all about angst and anger and being pissed off, but doing it together in a great atmosphere and still loving our Buffalo Bills. I personally can't wait to talk to these two dudes and all of you about it. And let's hear everything everybody's got to say. We'll hit this intro and we'll get on our way. That was some Dr. Seuss shit.
That's rhyming, buddy.
What's up, everybody? Here we are. It's Tuesday. It's 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and it is the K-Gun Report as promised. Rain or shine, it doesn't matter to us, damn it. I am your host, Swank. Right over here up top next to me is none other than the one and only Jarrod Reed with his new microphone and setup, sounding great, looking spectacular. How's it going, Jerry?
Better than I thought it was gonna. Welcome, Bills Mafia, the Fandemonium. I'll tell you what, the Finger Lakes are a little bit deeper today than they were Sunday. But
Was there another glacier?
I'm here. Yeah, let's pretty close.
I think he's referring to the tears.
But
like you referred to at the beginning, Swank, I'm here to talk it out with you all and the Fandemonium. So in my heart, it's always go Bills. I'll cheer them on from day one to day 1 million. Go Bills.
Hell yeah, we've been through worse shit than this, that's for sure. Down below is my other brother from another mother. I'm the lost triplet. They are the twins. His name is Scooter Magooter. Scott, what's up?
What's up, Mafia? A day where mixed emotions, whether you're numb about it, happy or sad. I don't know why you'd be happy, but it's just one of those things, guys. We've come a long way in the last 20 years, 25 years. And seems like it gets harder. And at the same time, it seems like it gets easier. We'll talk all about it. We're here talking Bills football. We'll be here every Tuesday for you guys. And for us, this is what we do. Let's talk about it.
Well, don't say that because we're about to take a 6-week break.
I was just thinking that.
Not this week, and just so that everybody knows. And as people are stumbling in, and I would expect attendance to be a little lower today, and I understand it wholeheartedly. I literally have only stumbled upon some Bills news a handful of times, and what I saw I did not like, so I just kept to myself. But just for your viewing knowledge, we are taking a little 6-week hiatus. Not after this week, after next week. We got some giveaway stuff and stuff that we want to address and do, and kind of put a period on the end of this season sentence. So next Tuesday will be the last show of season 3. That'll be 45 shows that we did this season, boyos. And we'll be back for season 4 6 weeks after that, getting into your free agency and draft wishes. Well, whatever, all of your needs, all of your free agent and draft needs, really.
Here you go. We have all the answers for you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks. Why don't you start? So, I don't know exactly where I want to go with this. Like, should we just dive right into it? Rip the Band-Aid off. Divisional round. Cincinnati Bengals at the Buffalo Bills. Who cares what the score was? It was horrible. We only scored 10 points. It was a big bummer. I really can't imagine it going a whole lot worse than it did. I don't know. Initial reactions. Scott, what was your initial reaction of this game?
I think Matt Milano hit it on the head. Something you notice right away, right off the bat, is the lack of energy. And the game got off to a horrible start, them going up 14-0 within the first 8-9 minutes, with the potential of having the ball back and potentially going up 21-0 in the first quarter, and there was no answer for anything. And it was a game where you really do understand the difference between a regular season football season and then the playoff season, and how different it is. And what I'm taking from it is, I really feel bad for the Buffalo Bills organization, because what I took from this is that they were tired.
Yeah.
With all that's gone on through the season, I'm not going to mention it because we've mentioned it thousands of times from start to finish of this season. No matter how you present yourself, you may feel like everything's okay. Things hit deep, whether you think it doesn't or not, and it does wear you down. And I'm feeling that that's what they were feeling, whether they can acknowledge it or not. It looked like they were tired, and we saw the finished product this past weekend. And we went into this after the whole DeMar thing and saying, do it for DeMar. And it wasn't necessarily, you hate to put that kind of pressure on anybody. Do it for DeMar, win the Super Bowl for DeMar. What I got out of that, the more I thought about it, is do it for DeMar. Give it 100%. Win, lose, or draw. Give it your all. Do it for DeMar. And they did come up short, but I think they gave 100%. They just ran out of time, ran out of energy, and they just got tired.
I think you hit the nail on the head, man. I mean, well, I'll give my 2 cents after your brother goes. Go ahead, Jerry. What about you? What do you got to add to that?
Yeah, to quickly touch on the Milano energy thing. When he first said it, I think everyone jumped on the whole, yeah, there wasn't any energy. But where I think he was going with, they were looking for a spark. They were looking for a big play, a turnover, and nothing came. And I feel like that's how the whole season has been with the Bills. When something happens good, then the energy changes. I think they were looking for that, and it never happened. So to go back on your comment, I think a lot of people read that wrong. Another thing that comes to mind after this game, and it's the reality of the NFL. We have 17 games in the regular season, and then we have one wild card game to play, one divisional round, one championship round, and one Super Bowl. We don't get a chance to get best 2 out of 3, best 3 out of 5. So this is a tough league to play in from day one. You play 17 and then the playoffs. The Bills' 3 losses this season were less than 8 points combined, or 8 points combined. This game, they lost more than that. They had a bad game and a bad time. And that's what I'm taking from it. They just didn't show up for one game this season that happened to be in the divisional playoffs. They had a great season. This is why from day one, we always say enjoy the ride. I enjoyed this ride. The ups and downs, the emotional roller coaster. It was 13-3 season with all this going on. Buffalo came together before the season even started. The nation came together after the first Cincinnati game. We got closer. And if the Bills didn't win the Super Bowl to bring the joy that we've been waiting for to a city that deserves it, the people came together, and we do have stuff to celebrate. And I'm trying to hold stuff back because it was a long season.
Yeah, man. I mean, you guys are
I promised Sarah I wouldn't cry.
Yeah. I also like your product placement. Like, we're paying you to hold that mug the way it is.
Hold on, I got to get something here.
We got, okay. I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys this because, number one, we love you guys so much. Absolutely so much. And we do have good things to talk about. It might not be about that game, but we have some good things to talk about. Some really exciting things. And just hold out for that, man. I do want to say, because I forgot to mention at the beginning of the show, as you guys may or may not know, we have recently partnered with Buffalo Fan Base. So the K-Gun Sunday Sessions, we are part of Buffalo Fan Base, and we're very proud to be. And it's an awesome group of dudes. Going along with that, we are also sponsored by 26 Shirts, just like every other show on Buffalo Fan Base. So please check out their website. Go buy every cool shirt you can. Every shirt has a charity associated with it. It's an awesome thing. Del Reed, all the good shit. All the good shit. It's all good shit. One big thing I forgot to do is say what's up to our family, man. Our family in the comments, bro. We got Patrick Hughes. We got Rob Mullen.
What's up, guys?
We got some good news coming about Rob Mullen, too. We got Fife in the House of Pain. That is that was a really great comment, dude. We got our girl Ellen Lartz. What's up, Ellen? Our buddy Josh Cook. What up, Cookie? We got Get the Crackin' Mr. Brent Thompson. Frank Mullen. We got Lisa Johns, Brian Wilson, Joey Hatch Jr. Just so many.
They're all here.
So many. There was a couple questions.
Joey Hatch.
Oh, go ahead.
I think he was wondering if we're going to do a draft show.
Yep, that was the one I was going to bring up right now, Jarrod. It's like you read my mind. Yes, we are doing a draft show. We are going to do a live draft show as we always do. If you have not seen it before, it is 4 to 5 hours of us sitting around watching the first round with you guys. We take phone calls. We have some drinks. Jarrod brings his tumbler and looks at the camera every time he takes a swig to make sure that the logo's right. It's amazing. This year we got a couple surprises coming in that area. We have been working for the last couple weeks on a website. We have a website that's going to be launched here very shortly. And as part of that website, we're super excited to announce that, we have some blog contributors and supporters. We have people that are very near and dear to the 24/7 BF heart pump beats. I'm not a nurse. Go ahead, Scott. Tell me what palpitation. It's very close to the palpitation.
Palpitation is dangerous. Let's just go with the regular heartbeat.
Oh, okay. Palpitation's like Sunday. Regular heartbeat. Our boys, our dudes, you've seen both of these guys around all the time. I'll go ahead with the first one that's been on air. You see his face, you hear his voice. Mr. Ryan Thomas of the Thomas Take Sports podcast joins the 24/7 BF fam in yet another facet, and he's going to be writing all offseason about stuff he loves, drafts, free agencies. He's going to help you learn and dive into it if you're like a dummy like me and don't really pay attention past the guys that you think the Bills should get. He's going to help you out with all that. It's going to be a really great time. We're going to have fresh articles there weekly, if not more. Also, another blog contributor, our boy, the resident informer of the 24/7 comments, Mr. Rob Mullen. Our boy Rob has joined the family, and he's also going to be contributing to those articles. He posts amazing things in our group constantly. He's always on here, hyping things up, clarifying things, great takes. We're very, very stoked to have Rob and Ryan as part of the team.
Yeah.
So
two different personalities, man. I know Rob, he likes to create posts that get the fans thinking, expresses their ability to express their opinions. He does a lot of opinion stuff, and to have those two different personalities writing posts, blogs on our page, it's going to be exciting. We couldn't think of two better guys to do it, guys, and we can't wait for it. We're excited for you.
Where are they going to be again? On a web page that we have?
A web page is going to be 247buffandemonium.com on our website. You're also going to be able to find all sorts of like great links and I don't know, a big old bio about where we came from. There's a page on the Rager. Mark your calendars. I believe September 2nd is the date that we're shooting for this year. FLX Mafia. We got a store that we're opening up. That'll be new. We'll have the first shirt available on that store. And next week's show, we're going to do a sweet little promo run. It's like a dry run. We wanted to offer it to you guys first. The DeMar shirts went so well and they're being printed up, but this new store is going to be a way for you guys to get your stuff way faster. And you don't have to wait for us to print 50 and then get them and then divvy them out and ship them. We will still have a local stock of shirts and stuff. So anybody in the Finger Lakes region or anybody that sees us at an event, we'll have tons of stuff at the Rager this year. We can hook you up, but we're going to have the store set up so that you guys can just go get whatever you want, however you want. Well, within reason, but other than that, stickers still the same. You can message us your address for stickers. I got these bad boys in here, along with the ones that Jerry was holding up.
Yep.
So we got all sorts of that cool stuff going on. I want to hit a couple of these comments. Let's see.
Yeah, it's going to look like a regular website. And you'll also be able to hit up Fanbase's webpage just by clicking on a link. And because 26 Shirts is our sponsor, we're going to have something right there where you can click on the 26 Shirts logo, and it's going to take you right to their shirt. So it's easy accessibility to purchase their great ideas for shirts, for sure.
We got Brent Thompson saying, this was the year we were supposed to win 17 salary cap hits this year. Jesus, man, I hate this. Good luck signing new players. I feel you, brother. I feel your pain. I think there's going to be some cool ways that you're going to hear not only RT and Rob Mullen talk about, but we'll talk about it when we come back from our break. Creative ways that you're going to see Brandon Bean work his magic. We also got Gary Park, a newer name to our comment section, but he's been watching the show a while. I don't comment much, but watch y'all every week. Your show is my favorite. You guys can be critical, but not bash the system or bash players for an hour or so weekly. I appreciate you. Hey, man, that's kind of what we're about, dude. You know, we all love the Bills, and I'm not sitting here to take a big big criticizing dump on him. You know what I mean?
I know a lot of people have been taking that big old dump on Diggs this week.
Yeah, we can talk about that, man. I think that's unwarranted. I think people are using this right now as an excuse to try to label him that he is who we thought he was, right? Like, see, we told you, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. You got 3 years of amazing production, record-breaking, like Bills record-breaking seasons, and now you want to say because the dude doesn't like to lose the same way he's lost the last 3 seasons, and he's yelling and he's showing emotion that, like, what's he doing that's bad right now?
Right. And I've been thinking about this all day because I definitely wanted to touch on it. I love my job, right? I go in and I work 40 hours a week. I love my job, but there are some days where it's just like, I can't wait to get home to my family, get away from this place. Fuck, you know?
Yeah.
Nobody is outside my door when I leave my job waiting to ask me questions about how my job went today, how I think I could have done better, what I think went wrong today. Let the man do his job. And if he's happy or unhappy, let him go home and do whatever he wants to do. Who cares if he doesn't stay with people or want to answer questions? Let him go.
Yeah. I think the bigger issue is because he was leaving before the coach.
Yeah.
The coach,
and it may be
right.
part of his
And they brought him
contract, so
back.
he has to speak to the media. I mean, that's always part of someone's contract. We saw what Marshawn Lynch did during the Super Bowl. I'm just here so I don't get fined. He understands he's going to get fined, but you're right. Same thing year in and year out. You're losing in these playoff games. Something is wrong, and you're not losing in they're tough losses. They really are. Your season's over with. I'm out. Yeah. Bad attitude. I don't know. In the moment, I definitely think it was an in the moment thing, and I don't blame it at all for that.
We got our boy Ryan Hickman on. What's up, Ryan?
What's up, Ryan?
Hey, Ryan.
Said, here's my opinion, and it's like a 4-part comment series that he's got going on.
I saw your post earlier today, Ryan. So
I apologize. I think I saw that you posted, but I just can't. I don't know. This is going to be the most interaction I have over this for the next couple of weeks, probably. So appreciate you guys. But my process is I focus a lot on music. I get a lot of other stuff done. Projects around the house get done. And I stayed the hell off Bill's Twitter for a while. He says the process is over. The new process must be started. By the way, that canvas is fire, he said.
Thank you.
I'll agree with some of this, man. I think things need to change. I said that Sunday night, like all the stuff that was super endearing this season through all the turmoil and craziness. And I absolutely agree. I think it was just too much. It piled up and it was too much. Would it have been different if they got the bye? I don't know. You know, who knows? But like, I think you could see by the time they got to the Dolphins game, that was all they had to give, you know, and then you had a week and you came out and they were just flat, completely flat. I do agree that everything that was like kind of endearing, and I don't want to say like cute, but the stuff that we were like, oh my God, they signed Shaq Lawson back. Oh my God, they got John Brown and Cole Beasley. Like those things were like really like, ooh, cool. They're getting the band back together kind of stuff. And we were excited. Everybody was excited, but it did not like justifiably fill the gaps that we were looking for it to fill this late in the season. It was kind of a reach. And if you're looking back at it from the way that game ended and how things kind of transpired from like Thanksgiving on, you know, or whatever, Christmas on, whatever, you can kind of see that like you get distracted by that good feeling you get from having these players back in the building, but they really aren't the full pieces that we need. I mean, I'll say Shaq, maybe Shaq should be left off that list. He had like probably the best season of his career, right? Like, or close to it, damn near close to it. Jordan Phillips, I love that man. I'm so glad he came back. He was hurt half the season. You know,
he was hurt during the game. And some suggest he shouldn't even played it.
Yeah, he's a baller and he wanted to be out there, and I get it. But that kind of stuff I think needs to change. I think that mindset needs to change. Not only like absolutely from a coaching perspective, but from like a fan base perspective. Like if we want to get over the hump and win this game and win the next game to get to the big dance, like you got to start getting dialed in to the fact that like some of the players that you really like we've been saying for years, The team is too good and they're too close, and you're going to lose players that you really love, you know? And that might mean that, you know, a guy with a big contract that used to fit, but maybe doesn't quite fit anymore because of X, Y, and Z, maybe he's gone, you know, or maybe restructures, like definitely restructures have to happen, right? Like there's just so much that goes into it. And I feel like you can't just say the words anymore, you know, and this will be the last thing I say for a while. We're 13-3. We won a playoff game. We won 14 games this season. There's only been 4 times that we've had to have a bummer conversation like this on this show this season. That is far and beyond what we ever had previous to the last 5 seasons. So, right. I mean, calling for McDermott's job is like ridiculous to me. Bean as well. Those 2 dudes, I mean, you got to give me 5 more seasons of like regression before I'm even like, maybe we should think about like, you know, they've earned their spot. And I think it's just a little bit of polishing and a little bit of like this guy instead of that guy. And a lot of things that I've heard, and I saw our boy Cookie put it up there, Leslie Frazier. Leslie Frazier is a topic of discussion right now, a big one. This is the second year in a row where the defense has not pulled their weight in critical moments. I wouldn't say that Sunday was exactly the same as 13 seconds by a long shot. And I want to pose this to everybody in the comments. This is it. I know I was all over the place right there. I asked my buddy and my wife, what was worse? 13 seconds, feeling wise, made you feel worse? 13 seconds or Sunday against the Bengals? Which was worse? And before you guys answer, just let it sit for a minute because I want to see what you guys say. I know how I feel about it, and I'm pretty sure I know how these guys feel about it. But was it worse last year or this year? All right. Let's see. We got some people. We got Lonnie Cook. What's up?
What's up, Lonnie?
Oh, Lonnie says she wants stickers when she gets her T-shirt.
Everyone will get stickers when they get their T-shirts. Yep.
Rob Mullen says Cleveland is picking up Schwartz as a DC. Wow.
That's a good pickup.
Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Joey Hatch says there's going to be some familiar faces leaving and some fan favorites as well, I think. Yep. I think that's what you get when you're a good team.
Yep. And then when everybody's getting paid, obviously they can't afford everybody. I think right now we're $5 million over cap as we speak. So there's a lot of adjustments, a lot of money to be moved around, extensions, guaranteed money, all that stuff. Bean will find a way, but like Swank was saying earlier, it's got to be on some players that are going to actually make a difference on the field, not make a difference of how you feel when they come onto the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I see Hickman in here. I'm a little behind on the comments. He said record breaking doesn't make rings clearly. I agree, man. That dude's here's Rob Mullen. I just popped this up. Sal Capaccio clarified Diggs was firing up or attempting to fire up the team in the crowd the entire game. You could see that the entire game. The entire game he was over there and he was trying to fire everybody up. He didn't get upset until halfway through the third quarter into the fourth quarter. That's when fourth quarter is when he started that stuff with Josh, because Josh wasn't seeing him. You know,
right.
He was down there on the sidelines and said it was taken out of context. I agree.
Yeah, the whole this thing when he went up, like you saw his back going like this to Allen. What I've heard is he's going, is this seriously how this is ending again? He wasn't yelling at Allen.
Yeah.
He was like just frustrated that this is going on again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's a lot of changes that need to be made. I mentioned earlier that the regular season is a lot different than playoff season, and a lot of stats and stuff showing what the defense was all about these last 4 years. Taking in consideration the Houston game where we lost that lead and basically gave up the game to Watson in that scramble and they beat us. And then you got the blowout by the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. Then the 13 seconds defense where they played prevent and they weren't putting pressure on the guys. And then obviously the show that we put on against the Bengals. And a lot of it was put on Leslie Frazier. And I have my thoughts about it too. I mean, the 17 games you play during the regular season, you can jump all over some of these bad teams to pad your stats. It may look good. You have tough games where sometimes you're exposed a little bit. I know when you make it to the playoffs, they're all tough games. So if you're exposed during tough games, you're going to be exposed every week in the playoffs. And I think that's what happened with Frazier. I think that's what happened with, I'll say it, Tremaine Edmonds. We love Tremaine Edmonds. He's young. He's got a lot to learn still, blah, blah, blah. But watching him fall out of the zone when somebody else has got two guys on a receiver when he shouldn't have fallen out of his zone and they complete a pass in the zone was frustrating. Mark Maddox has always brought it up. Him catching linemen 5 yards down the field in that second level is frustrating. It's just there's a lot to take away. There's a lot of fingers you can point at, but a lot of that comes down to, like I said earlier, if you're tired, those mistakes come. And they come easier and easier every week.
All right. We're getting some answers here to the question I posed was Sunday a worse feeling or was 13 seconds a worse feeling? Hudson Valley says Sunday. Frank Mullen says Sunday. Jay Donk, what up, Jay, says Sunday. Josh Cook says Sunday. Patrick Hughes says Sunday mainly due to the lack of effort. Frank says 13 seconds was a heartbreak. Fife says 13 seconds was worse. I still haven't gotten over that. Feel you? So, yeah, this is what I was wondering. I was really wondering where people were at. I'll tell you, let me get through a couple more. I think this past Sunday was worse because it wasn't even close. What up, John Johns? He says he's late, but he made it.
Hey, you made it.
You're never
here, my
late.
friend.
You're never late, John Johns.
Swank, this is a great question. This is something you could probably talk at a campfire for hours about.
Yeah.
Because there's so many there's so many ways to approach this, I'll let you read a couple more and then I want to run with it.
No, go ahead. Why don't you go?
The 13 seconds was two amazing offenses going against two tired defenses. So it's bam, bam, bam. We're winning, we're losing, we're winning, we're losing. This past Sunday, I think, was worse because it was such an emotional roller coaster throughout the whole season. And then we have a game where the Buffalo Bills go down 14-0, then we score. And then before halftime, I'm sitting there calculating, okay, if we score before half and then we get the ball after half, we could tie this game up or take the lead. And that didn't happen. So it was a slow dagger. It's like all the emotions are starting to rush to us now. It's sad. The emotion roller coaster is down at the bottom now, and it just went there the whole game. So we had to sit for a whole half at this emotional breakdown that we've expected our Bills to be somewhere else, and they're not. Where the 13 seconds was, oh, fuck, we lost. This was
number two.
He's hitting them, dude. I love it. He's making up for all season.
You should have seen how many times I said the F-bomb in the car because I was talking to myself all day today. But no, this is a slow pain, slow, drawed out loss.
Yep. Yeah. I'm going to go opposite, Jared. I'm basing mine off emotion. Last year, 13 seconds, that team could have beat anybody. Legit. And they weren't tired. They just ran out of time. They ran out of time and they didn't get the ball in overtime because of a damn coin flip. That hurt more to me. Well, it was more of a heartbreaking loss, yes. But what hurt this loss this week actually was more of an emotional hurt because after seeing how they performed against the Bengals, like I said earlier, it was more of an emotional draining loss for them than anything. And to expect them to go to Kansas City or the Atlanta to play Kansas City after what we saw in the second half against Miami and then the whole game against Cincinnati, they were drained. And I felt more emotional for them this game, but I was more emotional personally the 13 seconds because that team could have won the Super Bowl.
I'm going to go I want to throw up Josh Cooks. I was in KC for the 13 seconds and had to walk out of the stadium. That's heavy, dude. That is super heavy. That's like I didn't want to go to this game this last Sunday in case of that. And I would have been going to the championship had it been in Buffalo this weekend, right? This one from my couch was way worse. I feel exactly the same way that Josh Cook does. And I'll tell you why, man. Last year, for the same reasons that you're saying you feel more 13 seconds. Last year, it was like it was taken away from us and we were there. We were right there. this year, we were never in this game. Not once were we ever in this game. There was no reason to think that like we were ever going to get back in it. And I'm not saying that from like the way I felt in the game. I'm saying hindsight looking back at it, because I'm still sitting there being like, well, if they go down 21-0, that's okay, because then we got Josh Allen and he can blah, 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 blah. I was doing the old Bills like negotiating, like, like trying to, well, what if this happened and this happened, then we could do this.
Yeah, we stop them, we go 3 and out, we'll get the ball right back. And
the thing
is,
we're doing it. A Josh Allen led offense and this team, it's been known to be able to do these kind of things. So it's not like so far fetched, but it just was, there was nothing. And I'm not making excuses, man, but I really think they were gassed. I don't think they had anything left. And I think they were underprepared. I don't know. Can you say that? Like, how insulting is that? Like, because I think all those dudes work. But I saw in the comments, Dawkins getting worked. He got worked all game, the whole line.
Against a 4 and 3 man pressure.
Yeah. Against an average defensive line, not even a special defensive line. And then the offense with 3, backups in that you can go back to our show last week. I'll never take down any of our episodes. You could throw back whatever you want in our face if you want to. And I'm not talking about you guys, but people outside of here, I said it, like we live and die with it. It's just, I don't know. It was so disappointing, and it was just like this very slow, deflated balloon the whole game. And I think this last Sunday was worse because you just knew it wasn't going to happen. I wanted so bad for all of the national pundits and all of the Dolphins fans and all of the Bengals fans that were trying to create some sort of drama that wasn't there. There was enough drama. Like, we didn't have to worry about ticket sales, like when that really wasn't an issue, like any of this other stuff. Like, there was enough there that, I don't know. I just think this team didn't have it, and Sunday was way worse. Just way worse to me.
Mm-hmm. Both bad days. They were both bad days.
My boy brother Brent says, hell, I have not gotten over wide right. That's goddamn right. Me either.
I mean, seriously, you ain't kidding. I mean, we want to talk about those last two. Those are the most recent. There's a funny meme out there Jared's referring to. Is with Zach Galifianakis and Paul Rudd. I can't remember what movie that is, where he's laughing. And it was a top that said, new Bills fan stating, man, it's been a rough basically year or something, or a rough couple of years with the Super Bowl, with the playoffs. And then below it says old Bills fan, and it shows him doing his little straight face. Like, you have no idea.
Yeah.
You had no idea what rough is like until you've witnessed wide right, 4 Super Bowls, Music City Miracle. Yeah. Can I keep going?
Yeah,
I can keep going.
I
Rob
mean,
Johnson.
You could go JP Lossman. You can name about 14 quarterbacks, and you could literally spend an hour talking about just the things that happened this year. So Joey Hatch, I'm kind of concerned about Josh and his elbow. Is this ever going to be okay, or is he always going to throw high and low balls because of his elbow?
I saw today that they did really take a good look at it, and there's not going to require any surgery, just rest. Yeah. Rest and strengthening it. So he's going to be all good. It's something to take. I know there's a lot. This sucks, but you have to give. I'm going to go back to it. McDermott and Bean and everybody in that organization credit for pulling this team together for everything that happened this year. They still went 13-3 and 1-1 in the playoffs. They still had to come in and week out and play the game and get these men ready for this. We got Tre'Davious White back this season. Okay, Von Miller got injured earlier this year. He's going to be back next year. There's a lot of positives still in our future that we have to grasp onto and realize that, yes, this sucked. There's going to be some changes this year. Bean has done great things, and we've seen it. Let's just watch to see what happens. We're going to take 6 weeks off, and then we're going to come back full go because we're going to talk about draft stuff, and it's going to be a new season for us. So it's exciting. It sucks the way this season ended, But that's the wonderful thing about sports. We have next year. We just got to keep pushing forward. As Bills fans,
the biggest positive thing we got is that we're watching football next year.
And going back to Twitter, I shut a New England Patriots fan up yesterday. He was talking about how I mentioned something at halftime saying, hey, everybody get ready for a crazy comeback on Twitter. And then at the end of the game, he jumped in and he made a comment. And he's like, your franchise doesn't have anything, blah, 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 blah. And I've told everybody this earlier this year. If you ever get in an argument with a Patriots fan or anybody that's talking about the past, just let them know that in 1964 and 1965, we have two AFL championships. 2 championships in the Buffalo Bills organization before New England even has their first.
Yeah. Right.
Nothing was said after I said that. Anyway.
I think, to put a diss maybe in this decade, Grandpa, Jesus Christ. You could talk about how that bag of milk is a piece of shit and they don't really have a quarterback. You could have said that, but I like that. I like the championship.
Oh, yeah. Well, 1964 and 65 when they didn't have helmets.
I was getting in my Studebaker to go down and
right in the gears.
Ryan Hickman, bottom line, we need help. I agree.
We'll get it.
Lisa John says Micah with a bunch of explanation points. I don't know. I know you guys were talking about it in the comments. Joey Hatch was asking about it. Rob Mullen responded. I sent these guys a little clip from his press conference today. This will break your heart. Micah Hyde was cleared and would have been able to play in the AFC Championship this weekend had they made it. I kept that information from my wife so that she wouldn't be crying all day until about an hour and a half ago. But yeah, man.
It's tough.
There's some salt in the wound. Sorry for it. Like, it sucks. It just sucks, man. It sucks.
But you're right. I mean, you're right, guys. You look at the last postseasons, the last bunch of years, and changes do have to be made. Coordinators, players, it's all going to be up to Bean. I think you can take a little bit out of all of those situations. I am a firm believer. I've always said it. Mark Maddox has even said it. These players come out, they're the ones that have to perform. The coaches aren't putting on the pads. The fans aren't putting on the pads. Yes, we're really loud and we're amazing in Buffalo, even outside of Buffalo. Bills Mafia is the best fan base in the world for sure. But those players still have to come out, and the noise helps, but they still have to perform and try to win these games. On top of that, I'd like to say it's all them. The coaches, the coordinators have to put these guys in a situation where they can succeed. They're the ones coming up with the schemes, the coverages, the play calls, and unless the leaders like Josh Allen, Tremaine Edmonds, Micah Hyde, or Jordan Player are calling audibles on their offense or defense, they're going to play the play that's called out to them. So it's a combination of things. Yes, these players have to make the plays, but these coaches also have to set these guys up for success. And I think we saw a combination of both of those failing this week. So there's going to be a whole bunch of conversations. We're going to see it all over the place. Bills fans, get used to it. Cut these guys, sign these guys, get rid of Leslie Frazier, get rid of Dorsey, bring this guy in. You're going to see a lot of it. And
there's been a lot of it tonight, man. There's been a lot of people talking about Frank Reich.
Frank Reich?
Yeah. I'll go ahead and maybe start something controversial.
Do it.
I don't think that Dorsey did that bad of a job.
No.
Yeah, you really don't. And I think for a first-year coordinator to, take over a team that was pretty much there and get 13 wins plus a playoff win, I'm not mad at it.
I personally have questions as an offensive guy. I have some serious questions in regards to the numbers were the same. I mean, passing, rushing, very similar to last year under Dable, and he did a good job. 13-3. They've scored some 30-plus games, yes. But the questions I have are, and it's not just a Dorsey thing. It's why do we bring in a second-round draft pick, a guy that can catch the ball out of the backfield, bring in Naheem Hines, bring in a Duke Johnson? Those are the type of guys we wanted to use, and you never saw them utilized in the way that they are that there are their strengths. We saw the slot game. Isaiah McKenzie, you brought in Beasley, and we were all happy about that, but you never saw any of those pass patterns where he was available and as dynamic as he had been in the past. So my concern is, I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt. The long balls, Ken Dorsey's his first year. But I want to see more of a control the game, control the sticks, control the first downs, have some drives. We don't always have to pick double seams, have two guys go deep on 3rd and 2. When it's a playoff game, you should get that first down. So there's a lot of a learning curve for him, especially, like I said, because it's his first year. But there's a lot of questions I have in regards to this, the players you brought in and why they weren't utilized.
We did have glimpses of it.
Yeah.
Sunday.
I was
We
going to
did,
bring that up too.
but Jared, where
not
was the
Sunday.
screen?
Not
Where was the
Sunday.
screen? Where are the circle routes, the angle routes, any of that stuff? The running backs that weren't even used. We use our running backs 80% of the pass plays to block.
Can we go back and see how much time Allen had this weekend? That's my this year's draft pick.
You mean in the pocket?
Number 1? Yeah, it's gonna be our offensive line.
I agree. I think that they should draft and free agent, like, go real heavy offensive line. I think you need to start applying the old Patriots Tom Brady kind of formula to this, where they kept really high draft pick offensive linemen and really good free agent offensive linemen in the mix constantly every year. I think, I think you got to live and die with the defensive line. Going into next season, you put way too much money and draft capital into it that, like, I think you got to ride it out one more year, and really focus on the secondary as far as, like, are you set at CB2? You need safety help for sure. And then what are you going to do with those linebacker, like the linebacker?
Yep.
I've been beating the drum as far as, like, I think Tremaine should stay here. I think that he is a good football player, and I think that he's still growing into his body. He's been here for as long as Josh Allen. So, in fairness, he's a first-round pick. He should be criticized as harshly as Josh Allen is criticized. And I don't think he's quite gotten that. I think there's some people that have really gone in on him. But in reality, that defense, it runs around Tremaine Edmunds. Like, that is the heart and soul of the whole defense, whether you want to admit it or not. So I don't know. Do you start that all over again? I see comments about Mitch Morse retiring this year too. Like, he should retire. He's planning on retiring or whatever. So now you're going to give him a new center that he's never played with too.
If Mitch Morse retires, he'll clear about $7 million in cap space, and you can bring Ryan Bates in there for you. And then you can add in your first round draft pick, Osiris Torrance, 6'5", 350-pound guard out of Florida.
Mm-hmm.
That's Scott Reed's first mock draft.
Yeah, there we go.
The sooner we know Morse retires, I mean, they can get somebody in there, and Allen can just get that connection with him. Morse is, we've seen it. When he went out, there was a dramatic change in that offensive line.
Yeah,
he was a stud. So not only, I get what you're saying, how you're going to replace him pretty much, because he was such a good guy. You can get someone in there that can clear the snaps and get the ball to Allen 100% of the time efficiently. But how are you going to make up for what Morse provided with the blocking scheme and calling out different fronts? Yep. I get you.
A leader and a Pro Bowler. So that's a big hole to fill.
J Donk, too many.
This guy's empty.
Okay. Too many long developing passes all year. Get the fucking ball out. Love the deep shot, but Jesus. Never thought I'd ever say it. But yeah.
We were calling for it in the beginning of the season, air it out, throw it deep, but at some point those defenses are going to catch on. And I've got a controversial question to ask here in just a second, but they're going to catch on to those deep balls. They're going to start playing the two high safeties. Then what? Yeah, dump it down. And that's where that running back conversation comes in, and the use of our slots with Beasley and Isaiah McKenzie. That's where all that comes in. Mm-hmm. You want my controversial question?
Yeah.
Have defenses figured out Josh Allen? Take a look at his stats running the ball and getting out of the pocket. They dropped significantly in the last 4 games. He's able to get out of the pocket and scramble, but there seems to be a spy on him that has been effective, and the coverage has been there. Have defensive coordinators figured out Josh Allen? And I'm just basing this off the last handful of games with his running.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I think they kind of stopped him from running. I think they didn't put him in positions to be able to give him that option as much as maybe it was earlier. I know they're spying him a lot, and I get that, But even when he was being spied, he was still chunking off like 4 or 5 yards, like maybe he wasn't breaking those huge ones, but I don't think it's like necessarily figuring out Josh Allen as much as it is figuring out Dorsey's game plan. Like, I think that was a big part of it. And I think that they were keeping him in the pocket, and they were like, as far as Dorsey was keeping him in the pocket more than trying to extend plays, or I don't know. I think rolling right is Josh Allen's bread and butter. If he's moving and he's on the move, he's a magician, and if there's nothing in front of him, which we've all seen him make something out of nothing, he can run, so I don't know. I would have liked to see a lot more of that kind of motion, like get him out. If you want to have him use his legs, have it be an option play. Don't make it like a designed run play, like obviously have some of those in your repertoire, but like he's so good on the move and he's so good improvising that if you create those scenarios for him, you open it up, you open everything up. And
a lot of people think that you're squeezing down the field when you do that, but we've all seen Josh Allen throw it across the back,
across his body. Yeah. And nobody wants to see it.
The whole field's still wide open.
Yeah. Nobody wants to see it, but he's got the arm strength to do it.
Oh, I can't wait for next year.
Uncle James says Buffalo is going to be a destination hotspot for free agents. I agree, man. I agree. I don't think players are looking at it as destitutely as some fans are. You know what I mean? Like, again, you won 14 games this season. That was after a game got canceled on you. And all the tragedies, we'll keep hitting that, but like, Josh Allen has not had a regression other than getting an elbow injury and then more red zone turnovers. To me, I think his numbers are pretty much the same. I know numbers don't win championships, all that. I still would rather take Josh Allen's numbers all day long and his productivity and his record, because those things add up to a higher chance of getting in the big game. You're not going to get there with Matt Ryan right now. You're not going to get there with Mac Jones. Like there's differences. You can have a great coaching mind. You can have amazing players. It just all needs to gel and all needs to hit at the same time. So that's where I'm at with all this now. What do you think about the controversial question, Jarrod?
Was I here for it?
Was I here for it?
I don't know. Go ahead and ask him again, Scott.
Okay, Jarrod. So in the last 3 games, 3 games ago, Josh Allen averaged 1.7 yards a carry. This last game, he only averaged like 2.5. I think the one before that, only 5. Has defensive coordinators, figured out how to defend him?
Oh, yeah. Swank, I'm going to go with you. When they haven't, they might have a little bit, but it's a game of adjustments. I think they might have figured it out this season. Again, it might have been with just the play calls and Dorsey. How often did they run the ball Sunday?
Right.
It's pretty easy.
It was
to
disgusting. The stats were like completely disgusting. If you look at it.
It's easy to figure out a quarterback when all he's going to do is pass the ball.
And
that's not on Josh Allen.
Sorry. Hickman, are you like, have you slammed like 18 Red Bulls or something? Jesus Christ.
Passed. Love your
fired up in Florida.
Running back runs, Jarrod, there were only 11.
Right. So with any quarterback, if you take the run game away from it, the defense knows who's going to get the ball and what they're doing.
Yeah.
So they haven't figured out Allen. They figured out Ken Dorsey in that particular small 3 or 4 games. If Ken Dorsey can sit back and swallow his pride and look over it, which I'm sure he's going to do, and be like, holy crap, we only ran this, we did this. Maybe next year in year 2, if he's still with us, he'll help Josh Allen and give the ball to Devin Singletary and Cook. Because guess what? The Buffalo Bills aren't getting a running back this year. They're going to stick with Singletary and Cook. Everyone get off of that already.
Oh, boy. I don't know.
Damn.
Okay.
We're like,
gee, James Cook is a rising star.
I'll tell you what, I would be fine.
Number 1.
I would be fine if they spent a really late round pick on a running back and just rode with Hines and Cook. Yeah, I mean, I like Motor and whatever, but I don't know. I don't want him to spend money on a running back.
Right? No, they won't.
I really don't want him to.
Right.
And
I get you.
as Rob Mullen's been pointing out all day long, if you guys are there, and hey, he's a column writer for 24/7 buffandemonium.com. You know, our cap space is nothing. Like all these drastic changes and everything, like, oh, we need these additions and this and that. Like, there's gonna have to be drastic cuts for there to be drastic changes as far as the new faces or any of that. So, you know, it all goes hand in hand. And think about how close we are, really. You know, you're 2 games out, and consistently 2 games out, and that's the problem. But I don't.
Devin Singletary, I think Swank's going to cost us a little over $5 million a year, and you can go ahead and draft someone in the 3rd and 4th round that's going to be with you for 3 years. That's going to cost $750,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we already have James Cook.
I hate to do this to you. There's a Keaton Mitchell from ECU, runs a 4.340, great out of the backfield, can catch the ball, and he reminds me of a Nyheim Hines and a Jarrod McKissick and a David Johnson and all that stuff. So,
and that's the draft issue of.
Yeah, I said it. What you need to do is get back.
Yes, he did say it. He's already in draft mode, everybody.
What round we get him,
it's all about money. He's a fourth round running back, I believe, and he's definitely a scat back, a one cut guy that can burn everybody. And Jared, it's just reality of it. They got Nyheim Hines, they got James Cook, 2 like running backs. Duke Johnson's out there, a like running back. Singletary's the only guy that does not match the mold with all those guys. If the Bills are going a certain look and Dorsey has a certain look, even though we didn't see it with the running backs, that's the trend.
All right. Swank, I still owe you a 4-pack of beer. Does anybody want to bet me that the Bills keep Singletary?
Well, you're going to give him his beer first.
Yeah, I want my beer either way.
Yes. You guys want to go against me? They keep Singletary.
You want to go another 4-pack bet? I think this is a thing that we should do throughout the season for sure. You're saying 4-pack bet that Motor stays.
Motor stays this year.
He'll
have a new contract.
I'll take that bet.
Okay. I'll still get you your beer.
Okay. And you might as well buy 2.
Jared, with the money so sensitive the way it is, they're going to.
I want Singletary.
They're going to save that $4 million, and they can get 2 players for a 1-year contract for that $4 million.
I need somebody in the comments to be keeping track of 4-pack bets for us. And anybody who's got proposals, I'm into it, man. This is great. This is the best kind of gambling ever.
Devin Singletary's been a guy that we've loved cheering for the last couple of years. He's consistent. He averages 4.6 yards a carry. He's not getting 1,000 yards, but he's there when you need him. If you look, most of the tackles that he gets tackled in the backfield is not his fault. They're usually blown coverages up front. So he's a guy that we love. Just unfortunately, he's on contract year, and running backs are hard. Running backs are hard to deal with in the NFL nowadays. So unless you're Barkley or a Zeke Elliott, it's going to be hard. But I hope Devin's with us next year.
Yeah, brother Brent says, "Geez, no more picks on running backs." OL, absolutely. And Red Bull Ryan Hickman saying, "Stop RB talk and start talking about the fucking linemen, damn it." So let's talk about O-line. We you might have got in a little late, man. We were talking about that earlier, Ryan. Come on. Yeah, I mean, I'm all for it. To be honest, I don't think the Saffold thing worked out the way everybody wanted it to. I think they were looking to kind of plug holes with either really young guys that weren't drafted super high or older aging proven guys that really, are starting to fade out. Dawkins is supposed to be your stud, and he got worked, and he's kind of got worked in a lot of big games this season. Those are facts.
Mm-hmm.
That being said, I do not want to dismantle this entire offensive line and have zero continuity. I don't know what your guys' thoughts about that, and let us know in the comments for sure. But it needs to be fixed. Absolutely needs to be fixed.
You got to find the right pieces. I think Scott said Bates coming in at center. You got Boker still. He's doing well. We'll see. I think the O-line's going to be approached. That's going to be an important topic for the next couple weeks here.
It's one of those things. It's like I'll go back to the "what are you doing" thing. We brought in Saffold, we brought in Casenberry, and they both came from the Titans, who are a heavily known to run the ball quite a bit. Saffold's got some of his worst numbers this year as far as PFF and all that stuff rankings because they pass all the time. What are you doing bringing in a running left guard and passing the ball as often as you were? I just think it's a what if. They're trying to fill the holes with big names, but it didn't fit the scheme. That's when I was excited for him because he's a all pro. He's a Pro Bowl blocker.
Sure,
but you just proved to the people that maybe thought it wasn't a good pick why it wasn't a good pick. He's a run blocker, and you didn't run.
Yeah.
Okay,
Jay says he takes your Motors bet too.
Okay.
Oh, geez.
And we brought in an offensive line coach that's known for his running capabilities and setting these linemen up for running, and we didn't run.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Pulled together.
We got Josh Cook. Spencer Brown needs to hit the weight room this offseason. That's a big dude, man. I don't know. And he's pretty inconsistent. I love him. I want him to figure it out. And this is going into his third season now, right? This is the end of the second. I guess we'll see. I think Bean is very good at bringing in competition, if nothing else.
Yeah.
So,
and I think Spencer Brown is more of a flexibility thing rather than a strength thing. He's unable to flex at the hips and get leverage on these guys. It seems like he's getting beat because he can't do the leverage as well as the strength.
Mm-hmm. Rob Mullen says regarding Saffold, his cap number for 2023 is only $2 million. So, yeah, he's not going anywhere for sure, and I'm okay with that. Like I am, but it's like you got to bring guys in to like get this competition level up. Questenberry was
what we
trash.
just mentioned. What Scott just mentioned is you brought these running, blocking linemen in, and you didn't run. Mm-hmm. You can keep them on your roster for next year if you run more.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know a lot of Bills fans are calling for more running. I'm one of those. I'd like it. If they can get a successful run game, that takes a lot of the load off of our star quarterback.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, you can go back to previous K-Guns where I'm like, I could give a shit if we run the ball ever again. I was on loving this team for all these years, and all we did was run the ball, and I want to see Josh Allen throw bombs. Now I am tempering my my take on that, and I was doing a couple of Ryan Thomas's shows these last couple weekends, and I do like James Cook, I'm there, I think he's worked in and he's going to be a stud, and you got to find ways to use him. Like that's what has to happen.
Yep. Maybe we know Josh Allen can do it. We know he's capable of being our guy and taking us to where we want to go. Maybe this is where the offense starts to figure out that we have our guy if we need it, but let's start giving him some help and not relying on him for everything. Mm-hmm. And what kind of quarterback can he be then?
Mm-hmm. Yep. You don't want to get caught wearing him out, making him tired and putting too much pressure on his shoulders for these next 6 years he's on contract.
Can you imagine what he can be if he has a little bit of help? Can you imagine what he can be if we get a little bit more of the run game established, what Diggs can be? I don't care. I love that Diggs is getting over 100 receptions and over 1,000 yards a season. But I don't think he cares if he gets 80 for 955 and they're winning a Super Bowl.
No, he doesn't, as long as they're winning.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. But that's where like that, that long distance perspective on not knowing this guy personally, but just seeing a quick video shot of him, and his whole life is ball. 100% his whole life is ball. Their lives outside of this it's pretty boring, like until they retire or, off season, whatever. But like, it's all ball. I don't know. I don't see how you can fault the dude. I love him. I want his fire there. He was the only one showing anything. How can anybody be pissed about it? We're keep going in circles here. Yeah, Hickman says, so you're saying there is a coaching issue. Damn it. Did we say there wasn't a coaching issue?
Like players, to be honest with you, like players, you adjust and you learn the game. Coaches do the same thing.
Yeah.
This is a 17-game season. We've already said it. It's short. It's
18.
not like 82, 162. You don't get a whole mash of games to put everything together. You get a small sample every season. If you get it wrong one season, you get thrown under the bus. You have to. We'll see what happens. This is going to be exciting next year. I got a good feeling. Calling it now.
We're doing four-pack bet.
4 to a keg.
There you go.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, just in case you didn't know, here we go, folks. We're in overtime. That's right. We're in overtime.
Grumble, grumble, grumble.
Welcome to the venting show.
Mm-hmm. It's a little vent. It's good, man.
Tell you what, you guys are making me feel good.
Yeah?
So is the whiskey.
No, there you go. That's what's in that cup. Yeah, not trying to be a bummer this whole show, and wanted to give people a place to kind of be vent, have a little sounding board. But you guys know what we're all about, man. Like, I'm not gonna sit here and dog on people over and over and over. It's like, you gotta wait. Unfortunately, you have to wait a long ass time to see what the hell they're gonna do. Not too long, but a long enough time.
Mhm.
So gotta lick our wounds, start to speculate, get right in a week or two, and start thinking about the draft, man. And free agency and all the cool shit that comes along with that. And we got another season coming up.
Yeah, just a reminder, we have a good core. This Buffalo Bills team's doing good things. Just stay positive. Just stay positive.
Joey Hatch, has anybody forgot about the drought we went through? Be happy we went to the playoffs. It's absolute baseline. Like, yeah, I agree with that. I want it. I want it all. I want it as bad as everybody else does, man. I really want it. But it's it's like this fucking jewel on top of Mount Everest. Like, it's so hard to get there, and it just, so many things have to fall your way. And I'd say if the Bills got it this year, it would have been literally the most miracle run that you could ever fucking think of for everything that's happened to this team.
Storybook.
Yeah.
Yep.
Hickman, dude.
I love it.
Zinga, 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 zinga.
Just maybe it's not Red Bull. Love you, buddy. Let's see.
Hell yeah.
13-3, tied a franchise best regular season record, and we are the AFC East champions again. Go Sabres, 4-0. Sweet.
There you go.
Let's see. Hickman's done.
We
being
went 5-2
satisfied.
against the division this year.
Yeah. I remember Harvey Johnson seasons 1-13.
Is that Tampa Bay?
I don't know.
Or is that Buffalo? Is Harvey Johnson Buffalo? Back when they played 14 games, that's a long time ago.
Yeah. All right, guys. What do you think? We done with this?
Yep.
All
Let's do it.
We have any other things going on? Oh, we're gonna give away those Micah Hyde tickets next week.
Okay.
We got Micah Hyde softball tourney tickets that our boy Uncle James donated. We've been running a little competition on Twitter. I think we're gonna open it up next week to comments. Is that what we're doing?
Let's do it.
All right, we're opening it up to anybody that comments on the show next week, and we got 2 Micah Hyde softball tourney ticks, and they're free. Compliments of
Uncle Jamie,
our boy Uncle James. He's a good dude. He wanted to do something nice for all you guys because he loves the group. He's a good dude. He's an awesome supporter. Love you, man. So if you're interested in those, don't forget to comment. We got the website coming out, like I said. Ryan Thomas taking you into some good stuff. He's doing it. We got our boy Rob. He's doing it. Articles, man. He's doing articles, man. And it's going to be awesome.
And they love draft time. So once that website is available, guys, hit up that website, check out the blogs. You'll be learning all about these players. And there's a lot of you out there, and we don't discredit anyone. You can like the favorite color, or you can know everything about them.
Yep.
If you want to know more about these drafted players that potentially could land on our Buffalo Bills roster, check out the website, check out the blogs that these two guys are going to write. Wealth of information. Do it up.
Ellen
And
Reed
then during
says,
our draft party, you can watch us not make any right clicks.
4-pack bets. Ellen Reed says, JA17 forever. Haha.
There you go.
Heart emojis.
And she's drinking his JA17 coffee.
Oh, nice.
Yep. She loves them, but she says I remind her a lot of them. So
Like what?
and just the handsomeness and the beard and
I don't see it.
Birds.
That's crazy. I
the
don't see it.
6'6" frame and the muscles.
Like you have carried a 6'6" picture frame before? Is that what you mean?
I have heavy, very heavy.
Made of rich mahogany.
All right, guys. Look, thank you so much for being a part of our group and of the live stream. And we love you guys. And this show really sucked to have to do. But we're glad that we got to do it with all of you guys. And thank you for all of the love in the comments. We're going to rip around and do some final thoughts. We got a little business to take care of after this meeting or after the show, a meeting after the show. And, and we're going to let you get on your way and we'll see you next week. So Scooter Magooter, final thoughts.
I thought about what I was going to say today, and I led with the emotional part of the game and how tired the Bills looked and all that stuff with all that they were going through. And my final thought's just going to be a perspective final thought. The one thing we do get that's guaranteed every year is that there's another football season. The one thing that's not ever promised to you and should be valued a lot more is life. And we learned a lesson this season, not only in winning 13 games, with going 13-3, the ups and downs, but the value of life and how meaningful it is to be able to take your next breath. CPR, AED saved lives, and we saw it firsthand. And as much as this season is over, we are able to watch DeMar next year, whether or not he joins the training camp or whatever his next step is. We get to know that he can live his life with his younger little brother that we saw at the game with him. He's the reason he didn't go anywhere else to college, because he wanted to stay closer to his brother. It's about family, it's about friends, and sometimes you take it for granted. And like I said, football's promised, life isn't. Enjoy your life, take full advantage of it, and be thankful for every breath that you take and every day that you're awake.
Damn. I don't want to go next.
Follow that, dude. Follow that. Nicely said.
Yeah. At the end of the day, Scott, you're right. You're absolutely right. You know, it's we as not only as Bills Mafia, but the whole NFL nation and the world took part in this whole DeMar Hamlin episode that happened, this ordeal, and it brought us all together, and it just made us realize that we love our sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever you watch, we love it. But when it comes down to it, a person's life is more important than any game. So just remember that. Yeah, it was a long season. We're going to be back next week to close this baby out. Then we're going to take our break. But Fandemonium, I just want to let you know that if you have any ideas or anything you want to see next season, because you're going to be right there with us, let us know. Throw us a message on Twitter, Facebook, all those. Just let us know what you want to see, and we'll do it. Swank, Scott, and I will be getting together quite often for the next 6 weeks to make next season, as the previous seasons were, bigger and better. And we wouldn't be here without the Fandemonium, so we appreciate you all. Go Bills, never a doubt in my mind. Go Bills, and we'll see you next week.
Ooh, nice. That was saucy. That was really saucy, Jarrod. Yeah, so we are getting together quite a bit, and we're going to make this bigger and better and keep going and building. Part of what we're meeting about is the 3rd annual regular season Rager that'll be held at Reinvention Brewing yet again. And I don't know, we had such a great time. We're going to try and get our boy Mark up, maybe a couple of his buddies, and do it all again for Help One and Shout for a Cause, see what's up. So if there's anything you guys would like to see there, and also, what do you guys want from us, man? Leave it in the group, leave it in the comments, message us. We're all available. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. But let us know. This is your guys' page. This is your guys as much as it's ours. So please, anything you want, let us know. With that being said, you can catch us every Tuesday, and that's true this Tuesday, but not next Tuesday, for the K-Gun Report. 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're on Facebook. We're on YouTube. We are part of the Buffalo Fan Base Network and sponsored by 26 Shirts. Please go check them out. Be on the lookout. I think by next Tuesday, our website should be live. Great content from Rob Mullen and Ryan Thomas Take. Also, all the information that you need to stay connected during our 6-week hiatus. I saw somebody was asking for a clip show. I think I'm going to try and make that happen. If you got any of your favorite clips, you send them our way as well, and we'll do a little something. It'll be fun, man. It'll be fun. Awesome. So, with that being said, we love you guys, and as always, go Bills.
Love you guys. Thank you very much. Go Bills.
Go Bills.
This is a dangerous groups that we're dealing with.